We're continuing our coverage of election 2020. I'm Tom George. I've been here since last night. Got the coffee this morning, but it is not over yet. Governor Ige confirmed President Donald Trump has approved and signed an emergency disaster declaration. Coming up, the newly minted Biden-Harris ticket making it official on the campaign trail. Enough about politics. Let's talk about weather. Live music, a huge deal in Waikiki, and for one local business, the music might be the key to bouncing back. It was nice getting our own little performance from them. They were really good. Yeah. Scary and sad situation for the people who live here in Kailua. This all happening in the middle of a residential neighborhood. That chopper coming to a crash. We're interrupting your regular programming to go to some breaking news. Kauai County is confirming 2 new Hawaii coronavirus cases to a story that got a lot of you talking. The idea of college kids from across the country shelling out some big bucks to do their distance learning from a so-called bubble at a Waikiki hotel. People have been here for hours. They've actually chained themselves to this cattle guard. One of them, Walter Riddy, he's been here since the beginning. You know, what are you concerned about now? It's now 7 o'clock. Technically, this is when police are here.
Yeah, they're coming.
Thanks for tuning in to KITV4 Island News at midday. I'm Tom George. First, some breaking news to tell you about. 4 more Oahu families are mourning today after the state announced their loved ones died of COVID-19. Well, the University of Hawaii football team, not the only ones sitting out this fall season. As Camila Bernal shows us, debates over schools and sports continue across the country. And new at midday, the state also says the cluster of 11 cases over at Honolulu Hale could have been caused by an employee potluck. The city says 474 of their employees were tested on Monday. Turning back to our continuing coverage of election 2020, a history-making primary, record turnout, a lot of races still decided, but still waiting on those final numbers. Want to head back out to Annalisa. More than 380,000 people across the state turned in their ballots during Saturday's primary. That's more votes than any other primary in history. The CEO of Delta Airlines says the carrier has banned more than 100 people for refusing to wear masks during flights. Passengers can't get on board without covering up right now, but some people keep refusing to keep the masks on, and that's caused disruptions. If you got some big plans, whether it might be hanging out with friends, a vacation, or even a wedding, the pandemic has been saying otherwise. We'll show you how brides and grooms are finding some new ways to celebrate their love. Time now 6:54. Don't go away. Good Morning Hawaii. We'll be right back on your Sunday morning. Stay with us.
Questions do remain about what led up to that crash. And KITV4's Tom George live now from the scene on Oneava Street this morning. Tom, what's the latest?
Yeah, good morning, Lindsay and Maleko. Those are some of the questions investigators are trying to piece together as they continue to investigate that crash that happened just about 24 hours ago. Now that the sun's coming up, we're seeing a lot of people heading out to work, and this stretch of Oneawa is still blocked off right now. I want to step out of the way and give you a look right there. You can see right there in the distance, there's the tail of the chopper sticking out right there. As we mentioned before, just landing right in the middle of a busy street in a residential area, so certainly really shocking for neighbors. And I want to show you some video of what this looked like yesterday. As we mentioned, you can see it right there in the middle of the street. Yesterday, it was a fiery crash. Neighbors telling us this all happened in the span of just about 10 or 15 seconds, but they say the warning signs were there even as the plane was coming down. They say that there was debris flying everywhere, and some of them had to run.
And all of a sudden, I said, boom! I said, oh, it started to fall apart. I said, oh, I saw the piece coming towards me. Then I said, the helicopter started coming towards me. I said, okay, run.
Yeah, so certainly a scary situation for them. The good news, of course, nobody on the ground was actually injured in all of this, but certainly, unfortunately, 2 passengers and the pilot were killed. We're still waiting to learn more information, but we do know that this was a tour helicopter. It was run by a company called No Victor. They're also being investigated. Also concerns as well exist over the fact that there was another incident with that company just about 6 months ago. So that's all part of the investigation that's being looked into by the FAA and the NTSB. So again, this area is still blocked off as people are waking up, but a lot of concerns still over those low-flying tour helicopters. That's all part of the investigation, but 24 hours later, still very much an active scene. We're going to continue to stay out here all morning. Yeah, good evening, guys. So just to give you an idea where this is, the house is actually right next to this public access right here, and it's actually not that far down to get to the water. In fact, as you see here, surfers do it all the time. But if you look over this way, just through those bushes, you can see a sign out there. That's where that owner wants to make that trek down to the water on his own personal tram. Real estate website Zillow bills this home as the lifestyle of the rich and famous. Beautiful beach views, a pool, and the potential for private beach access. And that's exactly what its owner, Ken Cow, a Hollywood producer and the son of the co-founder of Garmin GPS, has planned for his $11.5 million home. He wants to install a tram similar to this one, going from the house to the beach. But not everyone's happy.
It's an ugly steel cage, and we believe it's an absolute desecration of Diamond Head.
Neighbors on the Waialae Kahala board voted unanimously against the project.
I'm extremely upset. I'm nauseated that it wrecks the beauty of our beautiful Diamond Head. What the heck do you expect?
But despite the opposition of some of their neighbors, the architect has all the proper permits from the city and county to move forward. They say everything's been done by the book, and they were even willing to show us exactly how it'll work.
What we're building here is essentially an elevator on a tray.
That tray would run along this track, ending before the protected area of beach at the bottom. As for concerns it's an eyesore, the architect says it won't be fully visible.
From a visual point of view, the rails are very low profile. You'll probably see the cart in itself go up and down, but never really see the rails.
He also says criticism has been unfair and says they brought in soil experts and engineers to make sure that the tram wouldn't cause erosion.
The owner is extremely sensitive to taking care of the environment and being concerned about its impact. So we have been reminded at all points that this is something we need to keep in mind.
An owner that will eventually get his dream home, but neighbors worry how many others will follow suit.
It also sets a terrible precedent that anybody can do it now. And we're going to have ski lifts, more ski lifts going up Diamond Head, ski lifts going up Tantalus, ski lifts going up Cocoa Head. Where does it stop?
Now back live out here again, it is kind of tucked back there, and the architect tells me that's why once it's built, people up here at the lookout probably won't see it, so he doesn't think it's going to bother anyone.